Hey everybody. Okay, so today we are factoring quadratics, and they are going to be quadratics that are in trinomial form. This is what we call a trinomial, where we have three terms: x squared minus 10x plus 21. We have to factor, okay? Remember, factoring is when we have two terms that are being multiplied together to give you one term. Okay, factor as a product, okay, that's where you get your multiplication, of two binomials. So that means these two factors are going to be binomials. From our previous lessons, we had two binomials that we had to multiply, find the product, which would give us our trinomial, which would give us our three terms. So today we're going to take our three terms, our trinomial, and break that up into two binomials. I know that Khan Academy does give you one method of doing this where you find the factors of C, okay, that add up to B. Now here we have our standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. That is a standard form for a trinomial. So negative 10 is our B and 21 is our C. So you find the factors of C, 21, positive 21, that add up to B, which is negative 10. So there's a couple things you have to take into consideration. What could multiply to give me a positive 21 but add up to give me a negative 10? Now if you remember your rules from multiplication, a positive times a positive gives us a positive. A negative times a negative also gives us a positive, where a positive times a negative will give us a negative. So in order to get a positive 21, we need one of these two products. But since we need to add up to get a negative 10, we are going to choose the negative times a negative. So something that I like to do is something called an X factor, where you draw a large X and you're going to put C on top, B on the bottom. Now our C is positive 21. This is just a good way, kind of like a graphic organizer, to be able to see what you have to multiply to get to for C and add up for B, and then your two answers will go in the spaces next to on the left and right hand side of the X. And B on the bottom is negative 10. So what are my factors of 21 that add up to 10? Now I need positive 21, but I already know that both of my signs are going to be negative. So my factors of 21 are negative 1 and negative 21, negative 3 and negative 7. Now, those are my only two sets of factors for 21. So it comes out a little easier. If you were to add these two up, you get negative 22 and negative 10, sorry. So we know that we need negative 3 and negative 7 as our two factors that multiply to give us positive 21, but add up to give us positive 10. Excuse me, negative 10, sorry. So then all we have to do is here we have an x squared in our answer. How do we get x squared? When you multiplied last week, you multiplied x times x to get x squared. If you remembered your area model here, that x squared was when you multiplied those two x's, you got x squared here. So if we're going to work backwards, from your x squared, you're going to multiply and get x times x. So inside our two binomials, our first terms are going to be x and x. X times x gives us x squared. Now, you already found your answers that are going to go in these two spots, and those are your negative 3 and negative 7. Negative 3 goes here, -7. So your two binomials, x minus 3 and x minus 7, are going to multiply to give you back your x squared minus 10x plus 21 as your trinomial. So this is your final answer. Please do not forget that when you're plugging them in to the box here, that you make sure that you have your parentheses and you put the x minus 3, close parentheses, open parentheses, x minus 7, close parentheses. Any questions, please let me know. This is a great method of learning, is working with this X factor. It kind of gives you your little graphic organizer for what you need to do. Have a great day, guys.